All right, New York Giants fans, this is Tim with Online Big Blue, bringing you the best of New York Giants sports talk and entertainment. Oh, you know, it's so funny. You see these quarterbacks that are projected to leave their current teams. You have Deshaun Watson and Matthew Stafford. And you hear Giant fans since the end of the season, not all Giant fans, but a portion of Giants fans since the end of the season, portraying or projecting their love for Daniel Jones and what he's going to be the guy, he's going to be the franchise. I believe in him 100%. And the minute they hear Deshaun Watson, they go, all right, let's trade for Deshaun Watson. And then the minute some hear Matthew Stafford, okay, let's trade for Matthew Stafford. Okay, what happened to all the love you were just giving Daniel Jones? Are you or are a lot of fans not sold on Daniel Jones? That you want to look outside the organization for another quarterback? You can't profess your love for your franchise quarterback, and then when someone you perceive to be better comes along, you then want to turn around and say, okay, let's trade for him. Forget Daniel Jones. Who? Who's that guy? That guy has no pocket presence, only straight line speed, and really doesn't know how to check through go through his progressions or check down the proper way. That guy? No, we're gonna get rid of him. I don't like him anymore. Matthew Stafford's available. Deshaun Watson's available. Now the reality is we are not going to trade for either quarterback, either Deshaun Watson or Matthew Stafford, and we're going to talk about that briefly because it makes no sense fiscally for the Giants. Now listen. If there was an opportunity to get Deshaun Watson, I would be the first one who would put Daniel Jones on a bus and send him over to Houston. I would personally pay for his bus ticket. I'm not paying for his plane ticket because I'm retired and I don't have that kind of money. So I will pay for his bus ticket. But the problem is, there's two folds on this problem. The Texans are going to want a king's ransom for Deshaun Watson. They're not going to want the 11th pick, Daniel Jones, and then a mismatch of other picks. They're going to want a high draft choice because more than likely they're going to go shoot for a quarterback. So that's why the Jets make sense. And the fact that the Giants, for all the good they did in 2020, still have a large amount of holes to fill within this team. So sitting there and trading assets, valuable draft assets for Deshaun Watson could wreck the franchise and set them back multiple seasons because of the fact that it's going to be the same issue. If you don't have a line to protect Deshaun Watson, yes, he is a much more mobile, creative quarterback than Daniel Jones. You're not going to be able to keep him on the field. And if you don't have a plethora of offensive weapons, you're going to have the same issue. You're not going to be able to keep this guy upright, and you're not going to be able to get the ball to the playmakers. It would have been different if we still had OBJ, and then, Saquon coming back, and we could have patched the lineup a little bit and moved some money around on the defense. But it's not going to happen. Is Deshaun Watson head and shoulders above Daniel Jones? It's not even close. Deshaun Watson is a game changer. Deshaun Watson is a guy that when he came out, he took the league by surprise. I thought he was going to be a good quarterback when he came out of Clemson. I didn't think he was going to be this type of quarterback. So that's why you never know about franchise quarterbacks. Now, we took Daniel Jones at 6, and let's be honest, you compare Daniel Jones' first 2 seasons to Deshaun Watson's first 2 seasons, there's not even a comparison. Deshaun Watson progressed from season 1 to season 2. He went from 61% of his passes, almost 1,700 yards and 19 touchdowns in season 1, to 68% of his passes, over 4,000 yards and 26 touchdowns. So, I mean, he climbed the ladder, and he even got better in 19, and then he even got better in 2020. I mean, the biggest issue with Deshaun Watson, besides the fact that you have to give up multiple draft assets, is his contract alone. I mean, what is he sign? A 4-year, $156 million contract, and he's in year 2 of the contract? I'm not sure how the Texans are even going to manage trading him. I really don't, because that is a tough contract to move. you're going to set your team back at least a year with the money you're going to have to move and the dead cap money for trading him in the second year of the contract. The Giants learned that when they traded OBJ. We had to take all that dead cap space money. So, I mean, it's not, and plus the fact, the first 2 years of his contract are manageable, like I said, because he's still under that manageable contract. It's the extension that he signed that's going to kill you. And the extension, of course, kicks in at 2022. So, I mean, it's a weird dynamic for Deshaun Watson. So, I mean, I wish we could get him. I really do. I mean, he would be fun to watch in New York, but it's not going to happen. Matthew Stafford is another interesting quarterback, and potentially he could be a guy that could actually be traded by to the Giants. Because you're looking the difference between a 32-year-old quarterback in Matthew Stafford and then a 25-year-old quarterback in Deshaun Watson. So the Lions are not going to be looking for the king's ransom. But I laugh because if you think Daniel Jones at times is frustrating, and you thought Eli Manning was frustrating, it's going to be the same thing with Matthew Stafford. Matthew Stafford basically is Kevin Gilbright's Eli Manning, the gunslinger, chucking the ball down the field. Just always, dinking and dunking and looking for the big play, and taking that shot. Because that's what Matthew Stafford is. He is a big-armed, risk-taking quarterback that reminds you of Eli Manning from 2005 to like 2011, 2012. And that's what you're going to get. And the frustrating and maddening part that people had with Eli Manning is going to fall strictly on Matthew Stafford. Now, Matthew Stafford has been a pretty durable quarterback. I mean, he missed, 8 games in 19, but really beyond that, since 2011, he started every game from 2011 to 2018, and then started all the games in 2020. So he's a durable guy. His career completion record is only 62%. But he's a guy that's going to get the ball down the field, and he's going to push the offense. And he is not going to cost, like I said, as much as Deshaun Watson. And then if you look at his contract value, his contract value is not terrible going into the 2021 season. So, and then he's only got 2 years after that agreement, after that contract. He's still owed $3 million in 2023, but he's got a manageable cap number. Maybe not for the Giants because our cap space right now is kind of screwed up right now. But we're gonna make some changes. We're gonna move some guys around. We're probably gonna have some guys to do some restructures. We're gonna waive some guys. We're gonna create cap space, but I don't know if we would be able to create enough cap space to put Matthew Stafford on the Giants. Now, the other question is Matthew Stafford a better quarterback than Daniel Jones is right now? And does Daniel Jones' potential outweigh the short-term results that Matthew Stafford would give you? Because you figure Matthew's got maybe 3 years left. 3, 4 tops. I'm saying 2 to 3 at a high level. And that would put him, he would be 34 in 2022. So, it's an interesting dynamic. It really is. And the question, like I said, is he better than Daniel Jones? And I can't say if he is or I would say in the short term, yes, he is a better quarterback than Daniel Jones is. He really is. But the problem is, if you take a look at it, are you trading that potential from Daniel Jones? Now, Daniel Jones, to me, can potentially still be an above average NFL quarterback. So you may get a short-term bump with Matthew Stafford, but you're not going to have he's not going to be that long-term solution that Deshaun Watson's going to be. And I think that's what we need to look at. So, and like I said, it just irks me that you see all these Daniel Jones lovers all of a sudden turn as soon as they hear 2 big name quarterbacks are available for potentially for the Giants to trade for. Stick with your man. I stuck with Eli during the bad years, the early bad years. I think I was never one of those guys that said, "Dump Eli, dump Eli, dump Eli." I've gotten an Eli Manning jersey every year since 2004 to his retirement. So I'm not that guy. You stick with your front guy. If he's your guy, you stick with him. You don't look out into the free agent market or a trade market to see if you can find somebody better. Stick with your guy. Hold on to him, because if you think he's going to turn around and be something special, and then that's the guy you need to keep then. And again, this is Tim with Online Big Blue, bringing you the best of New York Giants sports talk and entertainment. And as always, if you can subscribe, if you can ring that bell, I think you know what that means. That'd be awesome.